You've seen the Kraken your whole life. In Pirates of the Caribbean, in God of War, etched onto 18th century sailors' maps. You think it's a story. It wasn't. On a Vancouver Island beach, paleontologists just pulled a chitinous beak from 100-million-year-old rock. Run the math. A soft-bodied super predator, 19 meters long, 62 feet. Longer than a school bus. Longer than the Mosasaurus. Its name is Nanaimoteuthis hagarti. And nobody is telling you the rest. Was the Kraken real? 100 million years too early for any sailor to see? If a 19-meter octopus left almost no trace, how many are still hidden in rocks we haven't cracked? And if it was as smart as your dog, did it remember its enemies? Here is what makes this story strange. We have known octopuses existed in the Cretaceous for almost 20 years. Back in 2008, paleontologists found a smaller cousin on the same Vancouver Island coast and named it Nanaimoteuthis gillespii. 2 to 7 meters of soft body. Impressive, but quiet. Then, in 2026, a team led by Ikegami at Hokkaido University in Japan went back to the same beach, same lab, same drawer of rock samples. They had been looking at the wrong species the whole time. The reason this took so long is the reason we know almost nothing about ancient cephalopods at all. An octopus is, in the words of the internet, intelligent goo. No bones, no shell, no skeleton. When it dies, it dissolves. Studies on modern deep-sea octopus carcasses show more than 95% of the body disappears within 14 days. Bacteria, scavengers, salt water, gone. We're missing the animals, not just the fossils. So how do you fossilize a ghost? You don't. What you fossilize is the one piece that refuses to rot: the beak. Cephalopod beaks are made of chitin, same material as crab shells, same material as the exoskeleton of every insect on the planet. It's a sugar-based polysaccharide, and it's not the same as the keratin in your fingernails. Important difference. Chitin is hard, slightly flexible, and almost impossible to dissolve. While the body collapses into mud, the beak just sits there, waiting. The hood length on this new beak, the part that anchors it to the muscles, is 86.4 millimeters, about the size of a tennis ball, 1.5 times larger than the hood on the largest giant squid alive today. So if 95% of a giant octopus body vanishes in 2 weeks, how did anyone find a beak from a creature this big? The answer is, they didn't find it. They mined it. The technique is called digital fossil mining. Instead of cracking the rock open and risking the specimen, the team ground the sample down 1 micron thin slice at a time. After each slice, they photographed the new surface in high resolution. Hundreds of layers until the rock was gone and the digital file was complete. A zero-shot machine learning model stitched those slices into a clean, three-dimensional reconstruction. From there, the team compared the geometry against 12 modern octopus species and ran the allometric scaling math. That is the part where the body length comes out. The exact size depends on which living octopus you compare it to. At the low end of the estimate, the body is 6.6 meters long, 21.7 feet, almost twice the length of any living squid. At the high end, the body is 18.6 meters, 62 feet, longer than a school bus, about 6 feet longer than the Mosasaurus, the animal that ate dinosaurs in Jurassic World. Both estimates are huge. Both rewrite the cephalopod fossil record. Even if you are skeptical of the upper number, the lower number is still the largest cephalopod ever found. 2 species of Nanaimoteuthis have been described. The older, Gillespie, has a hood about 39.6 millimeters across. The new one, hagarti, has a hood 86.4 millimeters across. The hood is only 2.18 times larger, but the body is roughly 3 times longer. Cephalopod jaws don't scale linearly with body size. The bigger the animal gets, the smaller its mouth looks compared to the rest of it. That is how the team back calculated 19 meters from a beak the size of a fist. Hold that beak in your head for a second. 3.4 inches across. Bigger than a tennis ball. Almost as big as a softball. 1.5 times larger than the beak of any squid alive in our ocean today. A school bus long, with a softball-sized mouth. What does a thing that big actually eat? The wear patterns on these beaks are extreme. Chipping, scratching, polishing. In some specimens, up to 10% of the jaw tip has been worn away. That is not a filter feeder. That is a bone crusher. Cephalopod biologists call it durophagy, a diet of hard shells and harder skulls. Large ammonites, the football-sized shelled relatives of today's nautilus, were almost certainly on the menu. So were juvenile marine reptiles. Adult mosasaurs are possible, not proven. Cephalopod jaw muscles don't scale with jaw size. They scale faster. Double the beak, the bite force quadruples. By the time you reach a beak this big, the animal is producing the kind of pressure that crushes a marine reptile's skull the way you crush an empty soda can. And then there is the asymmetry. One side of the jaw, in some specimens, is more worn than the other. In modern octopuses, this is called lateralization. The same thing as being left-handed or right-handed. Yes, really. Every octopus you have ever seen has a preferred side. Lateralization tracks closely with brain complexity. It shows up in humans, in chimps, in dolphins, in modern octopuses. It now shows up in a 100-million-year-old fossil. Which raises the question of all: how smart was this thing? Modern octopuses solve mazes. They unscrew jars. They recognize individual human faces and remember which ones gave them treats versus which ones poked them. Cognitive tests put them around the level of a dog or a clever toddler. In 2009, biologists in Indonesia filmed the veined octopus carrying coconut shell halves across the sea floor and reassembling them into shelters. The first documented invertebrate using a tool with a delay between picking it up and using it. Not reflex, foresight. The body that does all of this is built strangely. An octopus has 9 brains. 1 central, 8 smaller, 1 in each arm. Roughly 60% of its 500 million neurons live in the arms, not the head. Each arm could, in principle, be hunting on its own. Now scale that up to 19 meters of arms. Octopus skin also contains millions of cells called chromatophores, biological pixels controlled directly by the brain. Color change in milliseconds. And although octopuses are functionally colorblind, their skin holds the same light-sensing proteins as their eyes. They see, in a real sense, with their skin. In 2014, scientists recorded a deep-sea octopus brooding her eggs in Monterey Canyon for 4 years and 5 months. A vertebrate would have starved in weeks. We will come back to her. So we have a school bus long, school bus strong, school bus smart predator that ruled the Cretaceous ocean. And here is where it gets stranger. Nanaimoteuthis was not alone. The fossil record for soft-bodied animals is barely a record at all. Less than 1% of all the soft-bodied creatures that ever lived left any fossil trace. We have found maybe a dozen octopus body fossils in the entire fossil record. 1 dozen. From 300 million years of octopus evolution. Every other one of them, gone. Eaten. Dissolved. Forgotten. Call it the underwater dark forest. Every soft-bodied apex predator that lived, hunted, evolved, and disappeared without a single fossil to prove it was here. A whole branch of the family tree we will never see. To get a sense of how big that forest is, look at the giants we did manage to catch. 5 of them. Each one a different shape of monster. First, Camaraoceras, Ordovician period, 470 million years ago. The largest verified orthocone shells are around 6 meters. Before there were sharks, before there were fish with jaws, this thing was the apex predator. A shell thicker than a horse's neck. Hunted trilobites while life was still figuring out how to walk on land. Second, Nanaimoteuthis longa, Cretaceous. The same era as Nanaimoteuthis, about 3 meters long. For decades, museums labeled it the giant Cretaceous squid. They were wrong. Modern analysis reclassified it as an octopus cousin in a family called Munsterellidae. Relatives the size of motorcycles, all patrolling the same warm inland sea. Third, Parapuzosia sepenredensis, late Cretaceous, the biggest ammonite that ever lived. Picture a coiled shell as wide as a Volkswagen Beetle. The original specimen, dug up in 1895 in Seppenrade, Germany, sits today in the foyer of the LWL Museum of Natural History in Münster. They had to reinforce the museum floor to bear the weight. Older estimates put the live animal at 1.5 tons. A 2025 restudy revised the body weight closer to 400 kilograms. Either way, the heaviest invertebrate that ever existed. heavier than a polar bear, made of jelly. We still don't know if it was a peaceful filter feeder or a predator. We have one complete shell. Fourth, two beak fossils from Japan, Nanaimoteuthis and Haboteuthis, each one larger than any beak in any living cephalopod. We have nothing else. No body, no suckers, no hooks. Just the mouth and the implication. Fifth, there is a third beak, bigger than the other two, bigger than Nanaimoteuthis hagarti. Nobody knows what species it belonged to. Nobody has named it. It just sits in a Japanese museum drawer. The world these animals lived in is hard to picture. Cephalopods are older than insects, older than sharks, older than the Atlantic Ocean itself. The late Cretaceous ocean was around 4 degrees Celsius warmer than today. And then it ended. When the asteroid hit at Chicxulub, the impact released so much sulfur and carbon dioxide that ocean pH crashed within months. Atmospheric carbon went from around 900 parts per million to roughly 1,600. Ammonite shells dissolved before the dust settled. Over 90% of calcium-shelled plankton disappeared. The krakens didn't go extinct because of the impact itself. They went extinct because the ocean stopped feeding them. Smaller cephalopods, the ancestors of modern octopuses and squids, inherited what was left. How many krakens are we still missing? Probably most of them. The underwater dark forest is full of giants we will never know existed. And the only reason we know about Nanaimoteuthis hagarti at all is one single beak. On one single beach. On one single island. Up to now, we have talked about Nanaimoteuthis as a hunter, as a monster, as a name on a beak in a Japanese museum drawer. Let me show you something else. Something a modern octopus did that maybe, just maybe, Nanaimoteuthis did too. This is Granelodone boreopacifica, a deep-sea octopus photographed by the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute off the coast of California. In April 2007, a team led by marine biologist Bruce Robison spotted her clinging to a vertical rock face 1,400 meters down. There was a clutch of eggs underneath her arms. They came back, 18 separate dives over the next 4.5 years. Same rock, same octopus, same eggs, slowly growing. 53 months, 4 years, 5 months. Longer than a human pregnancy 6 times over. Longer than a master's degree. Longer than the entire Apollo program from launch to last moonwalk. She didn't eat. She didn't leave. She fanned oxygen across her eggs continuously, day and night, for 1,650 days. By the end, her body had wasted to a translucent shell. You could see her organs through her skin. In the autumn of 2011, somewhere between 155 and 165 hatchlings drifted out into the dark. She watched them go, she died. Robison published the study in PLOS I in 2014. It is still the longest documented egg-brooding period of any animal on Earth. She didn't starve. She chose. For 100 million years before us, in deep ocean trenches no human has ever seen, mothers in this lineage guarded their eggs in the dark and starved to keep them alive. So here is what we have: a 19-meter, intelligent, color-changing, mother-dying super predator that ruled the ocean for tens of millions of years before vanishing without a trace. And here is the strangest part. Every culture with a coast has a Kraken story, not because they all read the same Norse legends, because the shape of the fear is universal. Akoro Kamui lives in Funka Bay in Hokkaido, Japan. The Ainu described it as a giant red octopus, body big enough to cover an entire bay. Now look at where Nanaimoteuthis hagarti's beak fossils came from. Hokkaido, the same island. 100 million years apart, the same coastline, the same shape of monster. The Ainu didn't know about Cretaceous paleontology, but somehow they knew where to look. The Lusca lives in Caribbean blue holes. Same shape, different ocean. The Norse Hafgufa was probably just whales bubble net feeding. But whales don't explain Akoro Kamui. They don't explain Lusca. They don't explain why every coastal civilization independently invented the same shape of monster. You are afraid of the deep ocean. Maybe what is down there is afraid of you, because you reminded of something that used to hunt it. In 1978, the U.S. Navy frigate USS Stein came back to dry dock with chitinous hooks embedded in its sonar dome. From a creature larger than any cephalopod we have ever cataloged. Nobody has explained it. Maybe thalassophobia isn't a phobia. Maybe it's a memory. A 100 million year old echo of a hunter that watched our ancestors from the dark. And maybe, somewhere deep, somewhere we haven't looked, its descendant is still down there, still watching, still remembering us. If you made it this far, drop me a comment. What scared you more, that they were 19 meters long? Or that they were as smart as your dog? I read every reply. See you in the next one.